you got? You know, and they gave one of the songs was like Rock with You. He's like, man, well, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And Rob was like, well, okay, I know a little young kid named Michael Jackson. He'll probably like it. I was sending it to him too. Like, all right, Nick, whatever. What else you got? Type shit. And that nigga started coming out with hits. Quincy Jones scooped him up, had him out there writing for the whole, you know what I'm saying?
God damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know he was in the group, man.
Yeah, Heat Wave.
I didn't know he was in Heat
Come
Wave,
on,
man.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I know about Heat Wave, but I know he was in Heat
He
Wave.
wrote writing all that. Come on, man. He wrote all that shit.
I'm about to look that. No shit.
Come on, man.
I'm finna go look this shit up, man.
Yeah. That Star of the Story. It's one of the Heat Wave songs, like just mellow, you chilling and just creeping. Heat Wave, Star of the Story. Oh man.
Heat Wave, Star of the Story.
Yeah, Star of the Story. I'm pretty sure Rod wrote that, but I was thinking he was writing most of the stuff, but he did like, I don't know if he wrote 100%, and I doubt that, but a lot of the songs like Boogie Nights and other stuff, he penned. He got a lot of pen in that thing.
That's what it is, man. Yeah. Well, shit. You ready to get started?
Cool.
All right. Yeah, man, it's going down. This is Donnie Houston Podcast. I am Donnie Houston. Check it out, man. We got a very special guest today, man. A legend. A real live legend, man. This man has been, he been around for, 25 plus years, you know what I'm saying, putting it down, starting out on the legendary Rapper Life label, you know what I mean, with a group named the Odd Squad,
Yes, sir.
going on to have a legendary solo career, you know what I'm saying, dropping classic albums, man, working with Dr. Dre and everybody else, man, you know what I'm saying. Hey, man, Devin The Dude, what's going down?
Oh, yeah. Just cooling, man. Glad to be here, man. Donnie Houston show, man, appreciate the invite.
Already, man. I appreciate you coming through. What's going down?
Oh, man, cool. Couple of Bud Lights and a few sweets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the lab, getting it together again. Actually, about to get ready to drop in a couple of weeks or so. So, yeah, been kind of busy, man, but staying chill at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what, February 5th?
February 5th. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the name of the album?
The name of the album is Soulful Distance.
Soulful Distance already.
Distance,
So
yes,
who you working on there as far as like featuring, producing, and all that?
Well, for the past 3 albums, man, my favorite producer has been producing, pretty much the whole thing. Rob Quest.
Rob Quest.
Yeah, Rob Quest. So, but I was, we're still doing like Coffee Brothers stuff too. So we still got a lot of producers that's on board, and a lot of tracks I passed up. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to do this later. But I kind of wanted to kind of get that feel, that bond, that chemistry that me and Rob had since like back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of wanted to keep that kind of consolidated through, to stay kind of consistent. And, you know what I'm saying? Have that, continuity.
Yeah. So, okay, so who you working with as far as features and everything on that?
Okay, well, features we're gonna have to. Well, got the Art Squad. Had to have a track on there. But I got your boy Pokey and Kiki on one of them boys. Man,
okay.
That's I appreciate too, man. Kiki, Pokey, man. You know what I'm saying? It was good. I mean, we always had a cool relationship, since back in the day. But just to see it come together, and we're still working and be able to come out with pretty cool tracks like that there. And I did one on Poke album too, man. I got one, working on one for Kiki. So we still, and that was cool. And I got one with Thugger and Scarface on that boy, man. So that was cool. That was a blessing too. Appreciate Thugger for coming through, man. Face, he was at the lab when I was working. Actually, we had like sessions intertwined. You know what I'm saying? Mine bridged right after his. So as he was leaving, I was coming in. They were like, "Oh, man, hold up there. I got to fuck with you." So he stayed and vibe with me and did like a skit. And then I heard another song that I was working on. He jumped on it. So I had to get it and got Thug on it. And it came out real cool. That man, that was like a blessing right there. So that one's called "Live and Let Live." The one with Pokey and Kiki's on is called Just Riding By. I think that's what we called it. Just Riding By. But yeah, it's a banger, man. That some bitch bangs, boy. That motherfucker bangs. That's a banger, man.
Yeah, so okay, all right. So man, so you pretty much kept it at the crib as far as with the features and everything.
Oh yes, okay. Speaking of that too, yeah, my homeboy, my young pilots, I can't forget about them. 14K, you know what I'm saying, from Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hmm.
They on there too, man. Wood and Quad, much love to y'all. You know, we just saw them as youngsters, man, back in the day. You know what I'm saying, quite a few years back, and to see them grow and their growth and their hunger and their love for writing and hip hop and just chilling. You know what I'm saying. They was one of the first Coffee Brothers that was kind of pretty much was like right up under our wing when we was like doing a lot of Coffee Brother stuff.
Hmm.
You know, so until they was right there in the pocket, man, and you know they continued to do their thing too. So they're on there, 14K.
Yeah. So okay, man. I mean, you've been doing this for so long, man. Like, what is it about for you now as far as like with making music? Like, is it different for you as far as what you're trying to be on musically, as far as you're trying to get out there, or is a whole lot of the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about for you? From as far as making music these days.
Well, I mean, I think music just comes. Music is like something every day. If you can just concentrate and pay attention to it, you can write a song about something
Hmm.
every day. You can get a song out of the day if you get up early enough and live your life, you know what I'm saying, and work and play and all this within one day. It's a song that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And every day is different. So, that's what it is. And if you're trying to create a day or something or put it in one little paragraph or a song or whatever, and if somebody hear it and like, oh, my day was something like that last week, or you know what I'm saying, like, oh, okay, I feel you on that issue, or something like, hey, went through that same stuff that you're going through. So if you can make somebody feel like that and they appreciate you when they see you, that's what kind of make me, you know, continue to do it or try to do it again, but another way. So it's something pretty much kind of what it's the same, but it's a different day.
Mhm.
It's a different song.
Yeah, 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 for sure. So man, you talk about how you were doing it, with Rob Quest, man. Just talk about. I mean, I guess before you came to Houston, where were you? What
Oh
part of
well,
Texas were you coming
I
from?
was born in Pontiac, Michigan, but all my family's from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
And my grandfather was up in Pontiac at the time, and my mom was pregnant with me, and she already had like two boys, before me. Well, three. I'm the fourth, so she had was pregnant with me out there and went and had me while I was there in Pontiac, Michigan, and brought my dad out there. He was working, working with so it was the car was the big thing then. A lot of jobs out there for cars. So he was out there working on that railroad track and all kinds of stuff. But after I was born, my mom was like, it was like a couple of months or a few months after I was born, she was just ready to go because she just couldn't, she couldn't take. She wanted to get back, I guess, back to the St. Pete. So we went back to St. Pete. So I never actually uh, grew up in Pontiac, even though it's like Wikipedia say I'm born in '70 and I'm from and I'm in Pontiac, Michigan, and people were just thinking that. But yeah, St. Pete was where we grew up
That's where you grew up at.
until I was about 6 or 7, like in '75. I was born in '69, not '70, so the Wikipedia gave me a year too. So gave me a year young. I shouldn't have said nothing. But yeah, in '75, I guess I was 6. We my mom and my dad separated for the first time, and went to uh, East Texas to a place called New Boston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? New Boston in the high. So '75, I was 6 at the time. We stayed in New Boston for a year and a half, and my dad wanted to make amends and drove up to East Texas. Y'all gonna bring y'all ass back to the house. So we drove back to Florida. Boom. So in 70, 76, 77, boom, I'm in Florida. We living like and I'm what, I guess what, 7, 8 at the time, whatever, about 8. Uh, living in D-Moore Plaza. D-Moore Plaza was was we thought was like some nice houses, but you know what I'm saying, it was a demo plaza. It was, you know, it was kind of rough around it a little bit, but behind it was WRXB radio station. That's still there. That's still there today. But right behind the apartments, or the, you know, right behind the apartments, you cross the gate, you boom over there. I used to go over there and see. I was amazed by all them wires and you know, kind of antennas and stuff, and I was kind of weasel my way, you know, closer and closer as I come from school to these people, you know what I'm saying, like asking them questions, who work here? What do y'all do?
Hmm.
And they was in the D. I saw them in the DJ, and I like, oh, and so I, you know, I was befriended by the people who worked there. Like, yeah, he wanted to just know about. He just wanted to look around, you know, so how you firemen do with little kids and stuff. He just put them on the truck, let them motherfuckers go around. uh, Hey, shout out to the fireman who he came by the crib to had my son. My son went through a fire truck, but yeah, man, going through there and I was looking at them and find out that they had a stack of records over here that they was finna throw away. So the second or third day I was in there, and I just come to say hi and say hey.
Wait, so how old are you at this time?
8.
8 years old.
8. So I realized every Wednesday or something like that, every, you know, Wednesday they throw out records that had scratches on them or they didn't want them. Promo stuff. The people like, well, they throw them right in the trash can. I walked past that trash can and it was happened to be open, and I looked in there and it was just records everywhere. I said, what the? And I asked them. From then on, I was like, okay, I can help clean up, but I want to get these. I want to get these records. You know, so I'm gonna take these records. So I would go inside every Wednesday, whatever day, coming home from school. I make sure I'll be the first one coming home. Yap, yap, yap. But the kids will see me in the motherfucking trash can. But they know I, you know, I fuck with, you know, I like the radio or whatever. But I like the radio station WRXB. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like amazed. Because I was like, the sound that we hear at home, you know, when we're on the radio, that's them. And I can, you know what I'm saying, I can actually have a radio and look at them talking here, you know what I'm saying, like, what the? I was blown away. And then the records every Wednesday. So I'm getting records, taking them all to the house every Wednesday, going through them. And my mom and them had like that old school cabin. You know, everybody got one with the 8-track and a boom. So I used to, you know how you can put album like 3 or 4 before they drop one at a time type thing.
Yeah.
I was, man, I was real good about getting nice albums that played in a row, like 3 of them at least. And at first I was like 45s, playing 45s, and then the B-sides and stuff. But you gotta, that's too much work. So I realized like Bootsy and certain other albums, you can play the whole side. It's gonna jam. Ain't nobody gonna complain about it. You know, some of the eyes listen to some of the other stuff. So I would help DJ at 8. So I could, with my records and my mom and them records as a collection, I can play anything. And they would ask me, "What? Wait, what's that?" And I was like, "It's a record I got out of," you know what I'm saying? Because they was, you know, was wondering how did I know about certain songs. And I fucked around and played a Rudy Ray Moore song.
Oh, man.
I mean, a record that I got from out there. I didn't know about it at the time. I didn't check those. I was testing them as I was DJing for my mama then. And when I played that record, she got on my ass. Well, what the fuck is that? That's what you be getting around? No. But she thought that I no. She said, "Where do you get that from?" I like told her where I got it from. No, where you get that from? She thought it was lying because she thought it was their record. That was my daddy had that same record. She thought I got it from his stash or whatever, or some. I remember a story like that, and they stopped me from kind of playing a little bit. But we moved from St. Petersburg, you know what I'm saying, uh, uh, like a year after that. So I spent like 2 or 3 from 7 to 9 doing that. And we went back to a place called Douglasville, Texas.
Where y'all finding these random towns?
Man, my grandmother was the first one who migrated from Florida. She was like with a church, holiness church and stuff too, you know what I'm saying? they like to, the pastor of that church, I believe, excuse me, I believe invested it in a lot of land in Texas. And Florida at the time was going through shit. It's 76, 70, what, from, for them, 77 through 78, 79, Scarface days. People getting killed, everything going to shit. And they was preaching that that part of Florida is going to be flooded out, literally like by water or whatever.
Mm.
But and that was like the message. So they were on that, and this is how if my uncle the name is gonna get on me, but because I might not, saying that's the that the story that I'm kind of familiar with. I know they got the real truth because my grandmother, she was really a working woman. She when she did come to Texas and to Douglasville, which is right now a population 195
Damn.
peoples. Not 195,000, 195 people.
God damn.
And, I don't know who
And
died.
this where y'all
who
go
was born.
to.
That's where we back then. But man, it was so beautiful. Cows everywhere, the spring water, the berries, man, just the smell of it, just like it was just so crazy. Man, we lived next door to the Washingtons, man, Freddie, uh, Raymond, Lucy, Felicia, Michael, you know what I'm saying? And they was teaching us stuff, and they was tripping on how we talk. We was tripping on how the way they talk, the slang or whatever. But they would teach us country life, and we'd show them, how the stuff we got into back there, the games we used to play, back in, and it was real like a family thing too, you know what I'm saying? And my grandmother, she did preservatives, and she did a garden in the back. And the next door neighbor, them who was more fluent with how to live, they had big ass chicken coop, dogs, a garden, tractor, a fucking, what I'm saying, a little barn, little shed, all, what I'm saying. They was strapped because they was fluent with it, and so we learned from them. That was our family, from like, and then we we was like tipping cows, and throwing, trying to hit them in their nuts with the rocks and shit, just doing little
Country ass games.
country shit, slingshots too. I got really good at doing slingshots, so my grandmother brought me one that you put your hand in and pull back. So, and shit, man, we did a lot of things.
So what are you listening to at this time? Like, what's really influencing you, like, musically?
I'm listening to like pretty much old school, you know what I'm saying, but I like new stuff too, man. I have quite a few kids and quite a few friends that introduced me to new music.
No, I mean at that time when you were at
That time.
Yeah.
Oh, which at that time, my grandmother said, what I did remember was my grandmother didn't allow me to bring none of my records from Florida to live with her when I lived with her in Douglasville, and she wasn't about. They barely looked at TVs back then. They was like, no, they was holding it. Women didn't wear pants. You know what I'm saying? You go to church 4 times a week, nigga. I was going to sleep every time. She used to keep smacking me, getting me, you know what I'm saying, to the point where she had to ask the preacher, could I join a choir so I wouldn't fall asleep. He liked to sing and like to do all this. He gonna
sing in the choir.
Yeah, I'm the only kid in the adult choir.
No shit.
The only kid. You know what I'm like, oh man. But
Wait a minute.
And in Douglasville, Texas, man.
Wait, you the kid?
Yeah, Douglasville, man. Shout out to Douglasville, man. And
This
it
is
goes down
hilarious.
like that now too. They be doing like trail rides. And, you know what I'm saying? They be crunk in Douglasville that, you know what I'm saying, at any given time, any given summer. But yeah, man, my uncles used to just hit me this up. My favorite Uncle Terrell used to drive me around his Camaro, and he had a girlfriend, chocolate brown named Bonnie. I remember I was like, oh, she was like a queen to me. I was like a kid, but she was, and he was just driving around and play the songs and sing that one. I would sing it, and then like Shalimar. He used to make me sing Shalimar all the time, and he used to make me. One time I remember pulling up. He pulled up at Bonnie's house, and Bonnie came to just say, "Hey," you know, saying, "Hey, you look here," like, "Hey," and he just put me on the spot. Say, Devin, sing Shalimar for her. I was nervous and looking. I was like, well, he the first one to just put me into just
No,
like
shit,
the
wait.
showmanship.
So
you know
what?
what I'm saying?
So what are you singing by Shalimar?
I think it probably was. It's probably second time around. I think second time around.
So you just like the second
Doing all the
time.
parts, doing all the parts. You know what I'm saying? Knowing all the words. He was amazed that I knew all the words and all the parts to all the, you know. Because see, when I was getting records out of the trash back in Florida, I used to always pull out the lyric sheet and see who wrote what, who did what the if you got lyrics, I read them like, oh, that's what they said. But if it didn't have lyrics, it just used to just piss me off because I sure wanted to know what they said sometimes when I didn't understand it as a kid. So I just wanted, I knew how the hook and the verse and all that go, the chorus rather. Then sometimes they just say chorus again instead of just putting the chorus down there. But some later on, I used to write the lyrics down that didn't have lyrics. I put the needle down, pause. And it says something. I used to do that with Stevie Wonder sometimes, but most of his stuff did have lyrics. But you lift it up after every sentence. Lift that arm up, right down, put it down. Put it down. The whole song, you know what I'm saying? Do it the whole song. But when the chorus come around, to give you a break because they just saying the same shit again. Stuff. Then just make sure. And back then they only had like 2 or 3 verses sometimes. I mean, just 2 verses sometimes, a lot of times the verses repeat, or most of the time it's from another song that you already know. You know what I'm saying? So the songs was like recycled a lot back in the day.
Mm.
So also everybody did each other's song a lot.
So okay, so why did you end up coming to Houston?
Came to Houston because we was going back and forth, man. My mama established a place, and and she established a nice job in Houston around about 80, 79, 80. At it was called at the time it was called Colonial Fountains, but then they changed the name to Cascade. So much love to everybody who used to live in Cascade Apartments back in the day off of 45 Woodridge area. They used to have a Lutheran church and school over there. Oh man, that and the school shut down around 82 or something. But when they shut down, they just everybody left and they didn't get a lot of equipment and stuff that was in there. We just broke into the school and got all that shit. Man. And then we used the football field to play football and do karate on after every Saturday when the karate movie go off. We'll go out there and go jump. We have to get some mattresses abandoned, saying jump on the springs and stuff, and just a big open field full of just hoodlums, little, just little having fun, man. So we acquired a lot of friends in Cascade Apartments. The Doe's family. Charlie, Dwayne, and Meaty and Bernard. Man, it was just Howard and Stacy, and what I'm saying, little Willie. What's left all they in the trade now, but I mean, I acquired a lot of friendships, man. But my older brother Donnie, same name as yours. My older brother Donnie, he was kind of like a father figure to me. So he used to play football and, dress nice and all, try to, be cool and stuff. Even though we didn't have a lot of money, he used to pull it off. And I wanted to be like him, I wanted to be called Little Donnie, and some of them, did call me Little Donnie. So I was cool about that. So, but we was at the like the with the Didi Junior High School, and then Milby High School, right? Because they was same location. That's where we
You
landed.
said Didi?
Didi Junior High.
Mm.
Yeah, that's if you go to Milby, you heard of Milby High?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I don't know if it's still like that, but you
There
probably
was a
came
school,
from
right.
Didi Junior High, going to Milby for the most part. And then you got people around the surrounding areas over there by Millby, he probably went to Millby. But if you went to DD Junior High, when you going to Millby.
Mm.
So that's how it was. Then.
So you get up. So
Go Hornets.
yeah. So you get to Milby, and then like that's like Run DMC coming out now, that type of shit, right?
Yeah. Run DMC. Uh, my one of my favorite songs, the song that made me, because we was breakdancing back in the early days. When I was leaving Florida, we used to have like, we do the robot and stuff, and then little routine dances in Florida. Well, my brother used to do that. My brother used to do that. Him and his friends used to do that in Florida. I remember when I was getting records out. That same time he was doing that, so I wanted to do whatever he did. I used to try to want to follow him, and they did a baseball routine. So the baseball routine was like a pitcher, you know what I'm saying, a dude with the bat, and you have like two like outfielders behind the pitcher. Boom, and then he'll throw it, and then he'll hit the ball. Then he'll go to the base. You know what I'm saying? And the pitcher get the ball and then catch up with him and then wipe him across his ass and the crowd go wild type shit. That was the shebang right there. You know that? So it was crazy, but it was crazy. It was funny. But I knew the routine, but him and his friends were doing it. And what I had to play one of the outfielders because his friend didn't show us. Like, man, all you have to do is just stand out there and just kind of do this every now and then. You don't have to do nothing. We'll do all the action. We're doing the action. The pitcher and the fucking batter is the one only pretty much doing shit. But we out in the field. We act like we're doing some shit. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the ball around before the shit go down.
Right.
Or as I remember. And I was nervous as fuck. I ain't never did nothing, sing, dance, or did nothing in front of nobody. Nothing. But I had to be a filler, for Donnie. And we went to a nursing home.
No shit, with the routine.
Old people, you know what I'm saying? We was invited to do that show for the old people. What it was, I knew I just had to play the back, and I wasn't tripping. So on really, concentrating on the routine itself. But nigga, I was in the back. And Donnie them, they went through the whole routine. Right before they went through the whole routine, I saw a lady up in the front row, and she had arm and her, other arm like that. And I looked at her, man, and I like, oh wow, this is crazy, man. I started feeling so sorry for her, man. And I felt so sorry for her, and I was like. You know how you like hurt for somebody when you trying to have fun, you can't do it because you. And she was right up in front row, but when he threw the ball and hit it and he got it and he went and wiped and tagged them out like that and they went crazy and the lady stood up and like yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like so enthused about that. Like, okay, it can make people. It can do that.
Yeah.
The entertainment or whatever it can do that. So that's just an old story. I ain't never really shared that with nobody really. But me and Donnie though, you know what I'm saying? My brother Donnie, we know all the the little stories, what happened, when, and where, So even if I try to get away with it now, when I got older, writing songs and stuff. See, I know where you got that song from, nigga. I know where you got that idea from.
So y'all writing songs at this time too? Where you doing this?
Not at this time.
Well,
I just started writing to 86, 87. Because we breakdancing, I used to just I used to record at, KTSU, 90.9, Mark Love, Jazz Red, you know what I'm saying, King, Terry T back then.
Yeah, Kids Jam and all that.
Yeah, Kids Jam. Every Saturday, I've got my pause tape. I'm ready. So, yeah, we were still breakdancing heavily, groups, battling, making money, saying money at the mall and all kinds of breakdance, we was in it. But MC Shan, he was one of my, when I heard Marley Marl Scratch. You know what I'm saying? I always call it Marley. Cause I thought my record that I got was called Marley Scratch, but when you go Google, it's Marley Marl Scratch. I don't know, but Marley Scratch. When you kind of dedicating the song to his DJ and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, how they used to do back in the day and just produce, you know what I'm saying? It's like that was like the epitome of hip hop representing for you and your man, you know, your DJ and you know, that's how hip hop came in, like KRS-One and Boogie Down, you know what I'm saying? DJ
Right.
Scott LaRock,
Right. Right.
you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You could always represent. And Rodney O. Joe Cooley, you know, everybody had DJ, especially Runs. Always give it up for, you know what I'm saying, for Jam Master Jay, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had to, you know, Grandmaster Flash. That was like one of the beginning things, you know what I'm saying, of giving it up to your DJ and letting them know the backbone of. So that was the epitome of hip hop and representing that kind of thing.
Mm.
And that song, like, and the lyrics were like crazy. So I like, let me try to rap, man, because the way his voice sounded. And then, you know, I was trying to freestyle. I wasn't writing. I just tried to just rap. So I didn't write. I was rapping about 2 years before I started writing,
Mm.
because you know I was just rapping, talking. It was a conversation. Blowfly was the first rap I ever heard, and I was in Florida at the time. You know, what I'm saying rap dirty. You know, I rap dirty. I was 7, 8. That was when I was back digging in records. That's my first time hearing rap, and I couldn't say it because I couldn't have it in my crib because mama was tripping. So rap dirty. I met Blowfly and we just we was real good friends before he passed. That's cool. And yeah. So I started writing, rapping, and then I heard motherfucking Tila Rock, It's Yours.
Mm.
I heard that. I say, you got to stop just rapping now. You got to write, motherfucker. They're writing. Motherfucker, you ain't know that to let me know what you heard last night. You got to write, motherfucker. If you want to do this shit, you're going to have to start writing. Tell a story. Do something. Say something.
Yes, I talking about something. Yeah.
Yeah. What you going to do? You just can't rap all day. You're going to have to write, man. And give some, give it out there and give people something to rap about. You know what I'm saying? A conversation about. So I started kind of writing this, doing storylines, you know what I'm saying? Simple stories, you know what I'm saying? And end up putting a little freestyle in there. Every time I would go to the cafeteria, we used to, you bang on the, cafeteria table, rap. Everybody used to have that. And when I was out back and forth, we was doing that. Like, when I graduated though, from New Boston, Texas, because we was going back and forth so many times from Houston. When my mama thought we were getting in trouble or wasn't acting right,
Oh, still.
to my grandmama, yeah, back and forth all the way to till I graduated in '88 or '89. That's when I finally moved back to Houston for good.
Hmm.
But up until then, it was a couple of years back and forth. 'Cause my mama didn't think we was going to graduate in Houston at the rate we was going. You know, what I'm saying, fucking around. That was like right that crack era. That's that fucking era.
So were y'all getting out there hustling and shit, or what y'all?
I mean, before we was gonna get out there, we could have. She saw all that shit. She from Florida, actually. You know what I'm saying? She from Florida, so you can't run no game on her.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So we moved out to Texas, and we, was in an area that had a lot of that stuff going on, and she saw us trying to go to school and make it, and when she saw that we wasn't trying to do the sports that we used to do in junior high, we went in junior high. I did every sport that they can put up after school. I wanted to do something. So
Mm.
I did everything.
How early did you start smoking and shit?
13.
Mm.
And that was when we was in Cascade, Colonial Fountain right there. 80. I'm saying 80, early 80s. Yeah, early 80s. So yeah, man. Smoked my first joint from my homeboy Boomer, man.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
And so do you start like blowing in, or it's just like every now and then thing after that? Huh?
I was just smoking joints. What you mean, just
Just like when you okay, so you smoked your first joint at 13. What I'm saying at that point, do you start like smoking on the regular, or it just becomes a thing like, well, every now and then we might smoke a joint?
Well, for the first year or two, it was like yeah, now and then. But after like I turned like 15, 16, it was pretty much quite often. Then when 17, it was every day. At 17, it was a wrap by then, man. Cause we went back and forth. We was contributing game from Houston to East Texas to Florida. I mean to New Boston, and much love to all of my New Boston partners out there, all my road dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of out there, so I don't want to just name a few if I can't name everybody, but everybody know who my road dogs, who the road dogs is in New Boston, Texas. But much love to those on the VIPs, or like my homeboy Marcus Smith, my brother Donnie and Scotty and them, they out there just chilling, man, Cooley. Yeah, so yeah, man, we're going back and forth. We was like the first one who the policeman ever, they didn't know what a 40 ounce was. We brought like a case of the 40 ounce here. It's in New Boston from Houston. We got it from Texarkana. So Texarkana is like 21 miles from New Boston, but back then it was kind of, that was, you didn't really go to Texarkana unless you wanted to shop for clothing and stuff like that. So the laws wasn't really expecting, youngsters to come here with some new alcoholic beverage that they didn't know about.
Yeah.
So we bought like 2 cases of 40 ounces. It was like 85, 86, something like that. And it was like 4 or 5 of us in that motherfucker, man. So on the way back off the 21-mile drive, we popped a couple of them, man. We drinking and shit, but we made the exit off back into New Boston. The police got right behind us, and they was put the lights on and pulled us over and stepped up, saw saw the person driving and saw everybody in the back and looked down and he told us, man, my flashlight bleamed off or something, and I just saw something shimmering. I said, what's that? And he grabbed it. He said, give that here. And he grabbed that motherfucker. He said, what is this? I was like, it's a 40 ounce. It's a 40 ounce. A what? A 40? What the fuck? He said, what is it? Man, it's beer, man. That's beer? That's a big beer. Y'all share this beer? No, everybody's got one. Y'all get y'all ass up out of here. And we had to line up against the car, and they took us down. They lined us against the car to make sure we had no other shit in there. We didn't have any other shit. We just had big beer. Man, he told us to get back into his car and followed him to jail, to the courthouse and shit.
No shit.
We followed him to the courthouse, to the court. We followed him. All right. Followed him. And he made us line up and take pictures of all our 40 ounces. If you ever see the road dogs and these things right here, they're responsible for them. They took pictures of us with 40 ounces.
No shit.
The police didn't and let us go, though. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all kept the 40s or not?
No.
All right.
No, they had them on like a pyramid. They had all kinds of shit happening with it. But back in, New Boston, they crunk now. They sell beer now, so you don't have to drive that far. But much love to NB, baby. New Boston lines. Same colors like Yates lines, like, maroon and gold type colors or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so I kind of stopped breakdancing up during that time towards like when I graduated in '88, and me and my partner Marcus Smith, one of my best friends at the time, he was destined to go to the Army, destined, and I didn't know what I was gonna do after I graduated. I was like, man, shit, I gotta get out of New Boston. I can't do nothing here, man. He was like, man, they got a buddy system. You ever the buddy system in the Army? Or the Navy first camp buddy thing where they had if you like say your best friend, y'all looking at the Army commercial and say, man, let's do that shit. If y'all can they got with one recruiter, he'll come and get the buddy system. Y'all get a student loan. You'll get a whole bunch of stuff afterwards. If they can get 2 for 1, that just if they're 2 for 1, that's all that means. So it was like, say, man, you go in there and list with me, man. I get more on my money. You know what I'm saying, up front, when the money that they give you when you go in. And you get free college. You see, you get. He was just trying to tell me because his dad was in the army. His dad was in the army. He was destined to go. I ain't know what the fuck. I was like, man, fuck this shit, man. I'm finna go rap. Like, man, well, if you ain't got nothing else, man, you can come to the army and it'll benefit shit me and you. When you get higher, you know what I'm saying, you get rank higher, you get a lot of benefits. So I said, man, fuck it. But we was kind of getting into a little stuff around there, you know what I'm saying? A little trouble here and there. Nothing major, but, you know what I'm saying? Little records here and there, little assault cases, nothing big. But it was enough where the Army wouldn't fuck with you. But the recruiter said, man, he can get everything expunged. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, he'll get it wiped off your record like as if it never happened. And we was like, I was like, you bullshitting? Okay, let me think about this shit. And I had to go tell my mom. I said, Mama, I'm thinking about going to the Army. Man, Marcus said, they got a little system now. It's a way that he can make a little money. I can get a little more money when we, you know what I'm saying, on the initial check. And then we go to boot, you know what I'm saying, we can list for 3 years. And we can go for 4. He was going for 4 years because you get a better pay. And then he got a reference now. He got me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got to give him even more and give me a little check too, though, for signing it. But I was like, well, fuck it. Let's do it. We did it. Well, we agreed to, like I said, do it. So the recruiter came to my house. And he wanted to talk to my mom, talk to me, and see, you know what I'm saying, make sure everything was clear about what I'm about to do. So he said, oh, Mrs. Copeland, he's gonna be great. He said he liked to DJ and stuff, and he's gonna be great. You know, in communications, that's what we got him for. So I'm gonna go for communications. You know what I'm saying? Because I like, yeah, I can. Yeah, it's gonna be great. If he can sign up with this plan, he's gonna get paid. Everything's gonna work out just fine for him. I'm telling you. So he got some cases. So I will just get those expunged. There'll be no problem. Boom. It was about it was a couple of them or whatever, but it was one that I didn't tell him about because I thought, damn sure. I like, man, I ain't even telling him about this one. So I told him about the one, and then about 3 weeks later, he came back and said, everything is clear. There's 2 more weeks before boot camp, so let's go. Everything's go. And a week after that, he called. I was like, hello? I was like, what's happening? What the fuck you mean, what's happening? I was like, hey, what's up? Man, where your mom at? I said, what the fuck was this? Man, you know what the fuck this is? I said, man, who in the fuck is it? Man, why you ain't tell me about that shit you did? I said, it was the same recruiter, but he just changed his whole demeanor, nigga.
It was a nigga on the phone.
Yeah, but he was a nigga from the start.
Yeah.
But
you know
he was had that voice.
Yeah.
He turned into it. He like, man, I was like, hold up, man, what you talking? I say, man, slow down, man, slow down. Man, look, man, we need to hurry up. You can't do nothing now. I'm trying to. You got 1 more week to go. I like, man, look, I forgot about that, man. All you got to do is just, do what you did for them last. I can't do that shit no more. I can't do that shit, man. Where your mama? Let me talk to your mama. No more Mrs. Copeland and all that shit. I gave the phone to my mom, and she was like, yeah, no. Oh, well, yeah, I got kind of, saying, mama, she ain't gonna never just talk down, she's gonna, yeah, but he gonna, and then she kind of stuttered and frowned at her like, what? And so before, I sounded like he was kind of talking to her, kind of crazy like he was talking to me. So I snapped the phone from him and say, man, fuck you in this motherfucker. And I hung up on this bitch ass. And it was that, I never went, because before that, I went to swear in. I swore in.
No shit.
So
you thought you was just going to get away with it?
I did pass the piss test. swore in. We did all that. All we needed 2 more weeks to go. I had to fly to Austin to do that. All we needed is 2 more weeks before we go to boot camp. Me and him out there on the high school track, running, trying to get our miles in, get our shit together. And we was trying to get it together, man. But he called me a week before boot camp and told me, man, why you didn't tell me about that shit? Man, what the oh, shit, I forgot about that shit. Man, ain't nothing ain't shit we could do, nigga. I said, oh, well. Man. But I don't regret not going to the Army, but but I I appreciate everybody who did do any kind of service, and I wouldn't mind. And it was my fault. Well, it was my fault because I lied. I didn't tell them the whole truth, but I think it turned out a little better for me, I guess, to be able to learn what I wanted to do in life, because I wouldn't be able to do that in the Army. And he showed me that the way he was talking to me. He was like, "Oh, nigga, you ain't gonna, no, you blown us, motherfucker, once you get here." That's what it sounded like to me. Like, oh shit, I don't want to belong to nobody, nigga.
Yeah.
But it was. My brother, I was graduating, and the Army fell through. My brother, Donnie, player Donnie,
How much older is he than you?
about 2 years.
Yeah.
He got a girlfriend in Houston that cut for him so much, used to just send cigarettes to him and my mama and come down and visit all back every 2 weekends and shit. So she figured out she was living she had an apartment by herself. She figured out a plan. Like, Devin she hear about what's going on. I wanted to rap. She wanted, I would start rapping around the neighborhood and everybody knew, what I'm saying. But I was rapping in Houston too before I left in 10th grade. But I got to New Boston, I kind of really started kind of getting my skills together. And she figured, for one time at the family reunion or whatever she went to, because she used to visit us all the time, any good birthdays or, so whatever excuse she can get down there. But she was cool. She was cool people too, man. Much love to Christina too. She passed, what I'm saying. But she real cool. And she said, Devin wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying? We get some stuff happening around Houston. Houston blowing up on the rap scene. Maybe in the summer, he can come just stay with me for summer, just see what, what I'm saying? And I was like, bling. I'm like, shit. Well, just ask your mama. And then Donnie like, Donnie was playing. Donnie didn't really, that wasn't his gal. But it was like somebody just really, really cut for him. She was a family. She was, with the family. So that was her bait to get him in. All it take a few more
Get
summers.
your little brother in.
Yeah, get in, then you next. That's what she thought, but that didn't work. It didn't work, but I was able to start working, what I'm saying, at a place called grocery store, Apple Tree.
I remember Apple Tree, yeah.
Apple Tree.
Yeah.
I was the night checker, but I started as a bagger, what I'm saying, groceries, going to get carts, doing my thing, and just, and I guess, a guy named Jerry too, black guy named Jerry, much love Jerry, lived in South Florida, man. I used to kind of look up to him too, because he was a checker at the time, only black checker up there, what I'm saying. At that time, it was like, okay, they trust a black man with some money around here. Anytime they do that, so we became real cool, and he kind of hit me with some of the stuff he was doing too. So, and it was cool, man. I started working at Apple Tree. Me and my homeboy Jug, who was with the art squad, got him a job up there. We working this shit, we checking, we having fun, getting high in the motherfucker every chance we get.
Working at Apple Tree.
Yeah, man. But I became a checker. Then they opened up 24/7, and I was working like from 12 to 5, from 12, at night to 5 in the morning. But I was working one deep. So I used to hook a lot of people up coming through all my niggas, all my family members, whoever just come through, what I'm saying. I ain't gonna hit this shit across the weather, I'm acting like I'm gonna play it off, what I'm saying. And, so give me half of what you what you got. Yeah. Add it up before you get here. How much you got? About 100 words? Give me 50. Yeah. Get down there and sack, motherfucker. I'm there by myself. I'm gonna be there by myself. You know what I'm saying? It's just the only, you know, me a security guard and manager back there sweeping or doing something, working with the money, books and shit.
Mm.
So I kind of got the system down a little bit. Ran across a couple of plugs. My homeboy Jacob, rest in peace, man. He like had dreads. He from the north, but he looked like a Jamaican. He lived right on Belford. Named Jacob. Everybody kind of knew him because he was the weed man. You know, the motherfucker had that weed. He had that big dread. You think that's a you know, that Rasta man, you know, you say, hey, what's your name, man? Hey, my name Jacob, nigga, shit, what's your name? That's it, you know, he just hit you with, oh, Jacob, nigga, shit, what's up? With them big dread, you know, like, oh, shit. I ain't never heard of, you know, a dreaded man talk like that, nigga. But he was real, real cool, and he was fly on his shit, man, and he had all kinds of weed, and I kind of mentioned him in a couple of songs, you know what I'm saying, in reference or what have you. But yeah, man, he was a big supplier of a lot of weed around there, different kinds of weed. He was the first person I saw with different kinds of regular weed. You know, they had different kinds of fucking what we got now is so many fucking names or whatever.
Right.
He was the only one who had, you know, like 10 different sesamelias or whatever, you know, just different kind of that's skonka. This is the, yeah, you know, the pine. This is the, you know. But yeah, man, he was real cool, man. But you know, he'd just say, man, no, just skunk, nigga, just. But he played nothing but Jamaican songs. His whole catalog and all his vinyl was reggae. That's all he gonna play. You take your shoes off before you come in. Go back there and you say a prayer when you get there. You say a prayer before you leave. So if anybody knew Jacob, they know that's what you got to do when you ever go to his crib. You know, take your shoes off, say a prayer at the door, and say a prayer when you leave. After you get some weed from if you buy a dime all the way to quarter pound or whatever. You know, you got to do that, the ritual of it.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's cool.
Yeah, talk about man when you met Blind Rob, man, and at the I think it was some
TSU talent
TSU,
show.
yeah.
TSU talent show. That was during that time working at Aperture when the summer came, you know what I'm saying, like it was like 89, 90. So shit, I'm trying to get my hustle on, I'm trying to stay. She's not getting along with me now. I'm sleeping on the couch. But I'm keeping the couch clean. I'm keeping everything clean. I wasn't working it for the first 2 or 3 months. So she started kind of, so boom, the summer coming around. What you gonna do? So well, shit, I ain't got to go back to school. I got to do something. I can't go back. I enrolled into Art Institute of Houston. So I got a loan. I read into some stuff, and me and Jug when told him about it. We went to the place and both signed up for these loans and stuff that they was willing to get the black Negro kids. And we accepted the loan, not knowing we got to pay that shit. But it was a lot of knowledge and a lot of stuff, man. That knowledge we obtained, we thought we was gonna get hands-on experience once we got there. But it's like you got to go through a lot of things before you even get to that point. A lot of book knowledge. You got to study broadcast. You got to study all kind of other things before you can even get to the hands-on, to that big board that they teased you with during the tour before you signed to the motherfucker. They have you have a whole tour of the school before you sign, and at the end of the tour they take you to this big ass for SSL, and you motherfucker like, wow, we finna fuck with this.
Yeah.
Where's the dotted line looking at? But,
Not knowing. You got about 4 semesters before you even get to that shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So then y'all meeting and y'all link up, start doing music and shit, man. Talk about
When there was a rap the flyer out. KTSU was even talking about it all the time. On Saturday they was like, next week we gonna have rap contest. You know what I'm saying? With Curtis Blow being the judge and giving out the record contract to the winner. Nah, that's a record contract, dude. That's half of what I came back to Houston for. I want a Cadillac and a motherfucking record contract. That's what I wanted when I left, coming out of high school. But That's all I wanted. So they was advertising that, and I guess I think Rob mom got a hold of a flyer or told him she worked at TSU, so she already knew some stuff. So she had insight on what was going on. So she told Rob, like, hey, I got my son. He's doing this, rap shit. Get him in. She was a very big inspiration and pusher, and saying I'm talking about. She reminded me so much of like Pimp C, mom, like mom. Yeah, man. They kind of look alike too, but that same spirit, that driving their son too to do something real good, and they believed in. And she had that push and that real. Talk to him real, not and just because he was going blind at the time, she wasn't giving him no slack. She was always real. So she was. You had to go to you had to rehearse. Actually, you had to kind of not rehearse. You had to audition to even be a part of this thing, and that's where we kind of met at the audition of trying to be a part of the talent show. Because they got Curtis Blow coming, and they want to look kind of professional, want to kind of go smooth or something, I guess. So that's what it was. We had to meet a week in before the actual weekend. So I mean, K Reno was there, and a lot of other people was there too, man. But a lot of other rappers. I sure wish we had take pictures or whatever, man.
Was it K Reno was there?
Yeah. But all of a sudden, I just saw a dude walking behind a woman, but kind of not like that, but just kind of up close, because they had it was kind of tight squeeze and walking through people and stuff. So they was it's close. I was like, okay, who is the youngster on this mom? What I'm saying, but it wasn't. They was like they were just kind of buddies or cool or something. To me, it just kind of seemed awkward. But I just saw. Ain't nobody paying no attention, but the program director stepped in and asked everybody, "Hey, look, y'all, hold up, everybody get quiet down. I got one question. Do y'all think it's gonna be unfair for this guy to be a part of this talent show?" And we were looking like, who you talking about? Okay, and he pointed at Rob, who was.
They did that in front of him?
In front of everybody. Yeah, Rob and Mama and everybody. He did. Rob was like, oh shit. And then I think K Reno or somebody was like, I believe it was K Reno, but I was in the same spirit too, or whatever. Like, cause we didn't know why they would say that. It was like, shit, nigga ain't gonna win anyway. Who the fuck? And I had the same spirit. Yeah, what I'm saying. I was with the 22, I guess. But I was like, yeah, that shit. Whoever on, it don't matter. It's over with. It's a wrap. Anybody can come. Ain't nobody know nothing about, what I'm saying. But everybody, he went over the things, the credentials or whatever, the credentials or criteria, whatever you need to have to make the shit happen. What are you working with, like your show tape or your whatever, what I'm saying. I had a motherfucking cassette, what I'm saying, the pause tape that I did with Roger. It's I Want to Be Your Man, just that bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey, lady. What I'm saying, like that. Just do some player stuff, but it was paused. It was just a pause tape. I had to pause about, what I'm saying, get it together to make it like 2.5, 3 minutes. I had to do that for bars at a time, what I'm saying. So, but it matched cool, and it was high quality. It was Memorex, but yeah, it was cool. Everybody else had their stuff. It sounded, all right. They had their songs on cassette. It sounded kind of cool, instrumentals or whatever. Some of them have their whole song on cassette and just rap over it. It was just like that. It was just like a little talent show. The weekend, he said, cool. Okay, so now the next week comes. We get to the place. Niggas start going up. I'm thinking I'm like number 5 or something, going in line. People go up there. I don't remember, the exact order, but I remember coming back down, and I remember Rob was going toward the last. He was like one of the last to go, Rob was. Man, his mama walked up the stairs and kind of looked back, and he was holding on and kind of, I like, oh, he's blind. He's blind. I felt so bad about me talking
Talking shit.
shit. I was like, oh, God forgive me. You know what I mean? I was like, he's blind. And then his mama walks him carefully up to the center of the stage. I was like, oh, man, he's blind, man. This poor man blind. Man. I'm tripping. And he had something in his other hand. I didn't know, I thought a book or something, but it wasn't. It was a fucking Yamaha RX-7.
Mm.
And he put it like on a podium, you know what I'm saying, thing. You know how you read on or whatever. He put it on there, and they bought a wire from the other side of the stage. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That nigga plugged that motherfucker up in there, and that nigga hit a few buttons, and the beat started coming. Then he started rapping. I was like, what the fuck? No, he can't. No, he can't do. No. Yep, you right, motherfucker. No, I disagree. I don't think he should be a part of this motherfucker. Nope. No. It's coldest motherfucker I ever seen. Coldest motherfucker I ever seen. Just do that shit like live, plug, beat, rap. His own beat machine, nigga. Oh, the Yamaha RX-7. He had sequences and song modes and shit already, nigga. I'm like, what the fuck is going? I just stuck around, and when he got off today, I was like amazed, man. I was like, what the fuck, man? I had to go, man, holler, say, man, you a bad motherfucker, man. I just had to let him know right then. Look, man, I don't know what's up, man. I don't know what's up with you, man. But we'll holler, man, after this shit over with, man, okay? I'm gonna just holler, bro. Boom. So we separated until everybody else finished the talent show. Announcement come on. Curtis Blow did not make it to the show. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they blame him on the flight or something. He missed his flight or something, I believe. But he's not coming, and everyone, you know what I'm saying, there's no promise of a record, you know. But if y'all want to continue, we can continue. And there was like 3 more acts left. Man, I was like, man, it's some bullshit here, man. There's some bullshit. I was like, but hold up, man. I just walked over there to Rob, where his mama was. I say, man, what's up, man? Man, I need somebody to make beats for me, man. I'm tired of your pause tapes. Say, man, you do beat. You want to work on some music or something together, man, someday. He's like, yeah, man, we can do it whenever. You know what I'm saying? I live right here down the street. He live on Eagle Street, right across down the street. Like, man, I can walk from here. And when he said that, I'm like, you want to walk from here? You going home now? What you doing? Yeah, I'm finna go home and just do beats, man. Curtis Blow ain't coming. I was like, yeah, man, these motherfuckers lying and bullshitting, man. So he's like, well, mom, yeah, he told me, he told my mom, this is Devin, you know what I'm saying? He's from, he's saying we're gonna start working on some stuff, but he's willing to walk me, back to home if it's cool. And I so appreciate her love for even saying, you know what? Yeah, y'all go ahead, because she was glad Rob, was getting befriended or whatever, man. But I was like, I was glad. I was the one, like, the blessed one for me, you know what I'm saying? Seeing the man, like, man. So we kicked it from there on the way home. We had to pass by the store. I said, hold on, man, I'm going to get a 40. He's like, what? I said, I'm going to get a 40 ounce. What? He never heard of 40 ounce. So I came in, and he never drank beer before then either, or smoked. His mom smoked with, she's a coffee sister too, so she is, it's all good with that. She's the one who kind of gave us advice on how to and how not to. So don't be all out there with that bullshit. If you ain't gonna do your music, do your thing. So, yeah, man. So man, we walked to the crib, to Rob crib on Eagle Street. We got in the back room, man. He started pushing on them RX-7 buttons. He started showing me the songs, different songs that he had, the different tempos of those songs, and how he got a chance to do that. And it was he bought that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because He also knew a guy who stayed at CUNY Homes who did beats named Blast, DJ Blast. I don't know if anybody ever mentioned him or
Mm-mm.
he lived in CUNY Homes. He was crazy with these beats on an RX-7. He had some shit that just sound crazy, crazy, but he always could incorporate other stuff too with this RX-7. So, man, it was him and DJ Blast was kind of acquaintance. They was kind of friends too. And DJ Blast had some real thick glasses too, so he was one of those people that probably didn't have a whole bunch of friends because he kind of looked, kind of looked nerdy, but he was hard. He was but he was, kind of they fuck with him, I guess. But he had the coldest, one of some coldest beats to this day. He can put those beats out to this day, and he must go cold. But he had an accident and passed too, man. So rest in peace, glad. But that was a while back. But Rob was, what I'm saying, just cold at it, and pretty soon, you know, we we got a 4 track. We got a 4 track, and then his mom got him an EPS drum machine. I mean keyboard
Sample,
EPS
yeah.
first one, and I had to stay up like probably like a week all together. But we stayed up all day and night. I'm reading it, showing him where the buttons are. He's getting the buttons. Okay, now you tell me 4 clicks to the left is there, and okay, 2 clicks to the right is there. I just let him. Yeah, Robin. Every, what I'm saying, he know how to truncate. He know how to do. He know how to do. He make his samples crisp or dull them down, put the lows in it, or EQ them. He goes to EQ. He can do. We went through all that shit, man, and he just absorbed that shit so much. I just one day I just thought I had to read again because what I'm saying, because okay, it's time to go because we end up getting ASR and got all kind of shit. Most of the buttons pretty much the same in ASR, but a few tweaks here and there. But he figured that shit out like fucking wasn't nothing. And just sleeping, man. One day we was in that motherfucker. Just heard the button, bam, sample he put in. I heard him putting in a breakbeat. I heard him putting in drums and putting in hi. He just putting in the discs. You know what I'm saying? Putting them in and knowing where they are and doing shit. He just I like this motherfucker is doing this shit by himself. He can whip that motherfucker, man. Like it's
Yeah, nah, that's
it's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, incredible, man. That's my dad. That's my little brother, man. He just a genius, man.